All right, so I was tracking in some of the comment sections for recent videos that people asked me to let the play run the first time through so they could see it and get some idea, and that makes perfect sense. I'm going to try to do that with the Once Sport Analyzer. So here we go. At the bottom of the screen, we've got Jacoby Lane and Tez Walker lined up together, almost as kind of stacked twins, and Fagnano just walks up and snaps the ball. Now, that pause that I put there at the beginning kind of removes some of that from you. In the next iteration of this play, I'm going to go through it twice. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think this is very similar to stuff that Jared Goff did under Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams sometimes last year. Basically, were it not for the on-screen graphics that I'm showing you right now, the blue line indicating that the ball is on the left hash, as well as some of the information that we've got here. You can tell we've switched to the second quarter because we're on to the fourth possession. It's 12 personnel, broken bunch. When the quarterback does this in the Ben Johnson system, or what I perceive to be somewhat synonymous Declan Doyle, they're scanning the defense as they're walking up to the line because they plan on snapping the ball quickly. Again, I'm going to give you a couple of iterations of this play. The first time through is this just to show you, that Tez Walker and Jacoby Lane are packaged together down here at the bottom side of the screen. Safety actually falls down on that side for the Eagles, and I'll point that out to you on the second time that we run through this. So broken bunch, first of all, it's a great formation. One of the foundational plays is what I call wind back zone. I did a video on it maybe 3 weeks ago. It's where the running back veers to the boundary initially, and then he's designed to bring this back to the field. And it's because they're doing multiple things. That the tackle will step out to the edge defender, tight end insert inside and go get the field side inside linebacker. Philadelphia's kind of set up for the wind back zone, in my opinion. They're in their base 3-4 structure. Fangio was matching 12 personnel with Hibner and Cuevas on the field from a base defensive standpoint. 3-4, 3 down linemen, 2 inside linebackers, 2 OLBs. Here's the routes that we're getting. Jacoby Lane this time is basically the clear out to the middle of the field, and then Walker, the dig-ish type concept. Something to point out and make you aware of as far as the tight ends in this offense. So Hibner is releasing late, but track where that's actually Cuevas, my apologies, but track where he comes from. So he's at the bottom side of our screen, right-hand side of the offense. And then what he's doing is reading the edge defender or whether the edge defender has broke free from the other tight end. Again, 12 personnel group. So Hibner initially would deal with this tight end. If he loses and needs help, then Cuevas would sit and help, whether it was to the inside or the outside. It's a read. Those guys recognize, okay, there's no help. The OLB actually didn't blitz at all. And so I'm going to release underneath. Keep that in mind later on in this video. You'll see Hibner get a catch on that same concept. Let me pull this back a little bit, and you can see the safety fall down. He's spot shadowed or magnified on the 3 o'clock position on your screen, the right-hand side. Fagnano is clearly looking for this route and this route only. Jacoby Lane is occupying the backside safety. Walker running onto that space. Philadelphia put themselves in a little bit of a bad spot here, if you ask me, by walking up one of the inside linebackers, 42, and then apexing an outside linebacker / edge defender. As a result of that, once again, you have the splitting nature of the remaining linebackers. Trotter working to his right, the top side of our screen. 77 expanding to match the potential of the running back into the flats. And then we're going to throw in between that vacated space. Happen consistently. Just in this video, I'm going to show it to you 3 different times. Let's give you the end zone angle of the same play. I've got Jeremiah Trotter, who played really well, especially early against the run. Perhaps a couple of breakdowns in pass coverage, but you never know who's responsible when 2 defenders end up in the same spot. So in any case, here's the pass pro design. Hibner is going to deal with an edge defender after stepping down, and that's what I have illustrated by that orange line on the left-hand side of our screen. He's going to step down, and there's no pressure in that gap between him and Vincent, so he's going to peel back to the outside to get to the edge defender. Technically, it's an inside linebacker, 42. Cuevas is reading all of that, and since he doesn't have any work, I'm talking about 85 flashing all the way across the screen here. Hopefully this isn't this video quality isn't too jittery for you guys when I scrub back and forth like that. Because Hibner doesn't need help, Cuevas can release. So it's a really cool added element, or layer, to the play-action pass concepts that we're going to see under Declan Doyle. Again, very Ben Johnson-esque. I don't know if Sean Payton, has those types of things in his offense and utilizes them a ton. I'm not as familiar with his scheme as I am with Ben Johnson. But in any case, you can see Fagnano's got a great platform to throw from. This safety had fallen down. You guys got an idea of his, you got perspective on his feet. OLB, who was apexed. Trotter has also stepped the wrong way as far as where the play ends up going, but he's looking for play action from an inside linebacker standpoint. You have your back turned oftentimes to the routes. You have to turn and pick them up visually, confirm where they're coming from. So you've got the OLB expanded, Trotter widened up. Look at all the space between those two guys for the dig by Walker to fit onto. Again, it helps out that the safety fell down. It's a great concept. Again, I got some recommendations in the comment section from Lions videos to try to let the play run the first time through as much as possible. And so this is my attempt to do that. It'll probably make the breakdown of each individual play last longer because I'll go through 2 or perhaps 3 times. All right, we moved later into the second quarter, the 5th possession. In fact, I think this is the drive that culminates with the interception by Keely Ringo, which I actually will show here in this video because it did occur from an under center platform. In any case, the first time through here, Sarratt's up top with Xavier Gilroy, and we do have a blitzing inside linebacker that's picked up. It's a great job, if you ask me, by Sarratt. This little shake somewhere near the top of his route, or just as he gets to the top of his route. Obviously, he's the guy that I have magnified or spot shadowed at the top of the screen. You can see he kind of pulls off head fake to the left, and then another one back to the right, which would be to the bottom of our screen. That one kind of shakes loose this DB who's got hands on. No idea if he's grabbing or not, but he gets called for it. No idea how much he's grabbing or not. Sliding catch from Sarratt. Like I said, the suggestion I got from people in the comment section was to let the plays run through as much as possible the first time. Kind of trying to do that, but still stay within the parameters of what I have to in order to show this film on YouTube. So 11 personnel group. Like I said, it was a 1st and 15. I think we had a false start the snap before. So the tight end down at the bottom is Cuevas. Running back in the backfield. Fantastic job of picking up this blitz. Don't really have much to say about our offensive line in this video. Voorhees, really poor look here from a left guard standpoint. It's Trotter once again. A little bit of a swim through move, but the running back picks it up extremely well. I noted that last night while watching the game live. I'm not sure if you guys picked it up or not, but really great job in pass pro there of assisting. Vincent, to me, looked like a pretty good rep here. I felt like he got more comfortable as the game went on. But in any case, look at the funnel nature that you have of these two routes. This is very similar to stuff that the Lions did under Ben Johnson and still do, in fact, with Amon-Ra St. Brown. No, I'm not trying to say that Elijah Sarratt is a St. Brown clone or anything like that. But this funneled nature of a release, whereby 2 receivers are going through the same lane, if you will, for lack of a better word. It's a great concept, in my opinion, from a pass pro standpoint. The running back did a great job of making up for Voorhees' mistake. It's Trotter once again on the blitz. You can see the little swim that he gives Voorhees. Just don't think that we were nearly as sharp at the interior offensive line position as many other people do. But, you know, I'll have a video coming out to break some of that down. I just haven't had a chance to watch all of the film from the end zone angle. Great catch by Sarratt. Perhaps this throw could, you know, be a little bit further out in this direction from a Fagnano standpoint. The DB was called for a DPI/hold on the play. Really cool concept that we're going to see a lot of in 2026. Under center play action with receivers who are stacked and kind of a funneled release where they're going through the same lane the first 2 to 2.5 seconds after the snap.